right, now we're coming to the interesting part where we start talking about the future, that is 2021. So, so many things that we believe will become either trends. So we'll talk about a lot of things out here. We'll talk about trends that we are seeing. We're talking about innovation that we'll see in 2021. Plus, I will put out the panelists actually to choose one or two products that they can't wait for in 2021, and they can't be your typical ones, which is an upgrade to the previous ones.
Rajiv, for me, if I had to talk about one trend I'm really looking forward to in 2021, it would be to do with displays. We've seen hints of we've seen a lot of foldable, but flexible, rollable, all sorts of shapes and sizes. We've seen so much going on with displays this year that I think next year, 2021, is when we start seeing the commercial rollout of a lot of these technologies and people getting it in their hands. And that's what I'm really excited about.
All right, great. So now I'm pinning you down to two products.
First would be a 16-inch MacBook Pro with the new M series chip. That's definitely one of them. And the second would be any company that can put out a display with a mini LED panel. I think as a content creator and somebody who loves watching movies, mini LED for me is it's the future for me.
All right, great. Nishant, some trends and things about 2021 that you'd like to talk about, and then of course your two top products that you're waiting for.
I'm really looking forward to 5G because we've been shown the promise for so long, and the fact that it's just around the corner, and by that I don't mean that you actually have to stand at a particular street corner at a particular angle and hold the phone at a particular head tilt to get 5G. I want 5G to be everywhere, pervasive throughout the country. The two products that I would want to see personally being commercially possible in 2021 is finally Dolby Vision coming to projectors. Because even now, I mean, even though we've seen the whole implementation of HDR very easy on TVs, it's not that easy to implement that in the projector space. And until now, we still are limited to HDR10 on projectors. So I really want to see Dolby Vision come to projectors. And the other one would be the proliferation of the Apple M1 chip into other Apple devices, because this is, I think, finally the moment, the pivotal moment where we might see, I don't know when we might get the hybrid Apple product, where it's part iPad and part MacBook, but the closest we can get is through the M1 chip, you can actually use iOS apps on your MacBook, either Air or Pro. So I'm looking forward to that ecosystem getting even more tighter.
All right, great. So some great predictions and some great products that we've spoken about. But of course, we had our opinions. So let's take a look at what we believe 2021 will bring.
We hope that when we do this segment next year, 5G is already a reality in India. There is a reason to be positive about it, since Mr. Mukesh Ambani announced at the India Mobile Congress in 2020 that Reliance Jio will be rolling out 5G network in the second half of 2021. Unlike the network providers in the West, Jio's 5G network will be using indigenous technology components and hardware. Apple's first silicon has proved its mantle this year with the amazing performance and battery optimization it brought to the MacBooks. The 5nm silicon chip is a breakthrough for computing, and we're curious to see how the Cupertino giant programs the chip to further improve its iMac lineup. To add a cherry on top, we can expect M1 optimized apps to roll out by mid-2021. While we're all excited about the revolution the M1 chip is bringing to Apple's Mac lineup, it is fair to assume that Apple's first SoC will prove to be a stimulant in the industry and will encourage more brands to come up with their own processors. As of today, Intel and AMD are still eating a majority of the pie when it comes to market share, but this trend might change soon. However, our panelist Nishant Padiyar has a different opinion about it.
I think there's a lot of vested interest for Intel and all the other PC and Windows-based PC brands as well. So I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but I'm sure it's going to make a lot of brands sit up and think that why did we not think of this earlier? And Apple has always had the advantage, and one of their biggest USPs since the very beginning and inception of the brand has been that close association of hardware and software, which is I think the culmination is the M1 chip. But it's not that it's not going to be that seamless for PC manufacturers, purely because they don't have the supply chain so tightly in control like Apple does.
It took one tweet by Tesla CEO Elon Musk to create a hype among auto and tech enthusiasts in India. Tesla in the past has shown its interest in the Indian market, but 2021 might just be the year when we see Tesla EVs on Indian roads. If reports are to be believed, Tesla is planning to enter the Indian market before June 2021, with Tesla Model 3 to go on sale first with an expected price of 55 lakh rupees.